Strap yourself in for Keeping It Real with Jack and Raoul.
Yes, when you're ready, Raoul. Don't rush me. See, I prepare for these bloody introductions, unlike you. That's why you always stuff them up. Anyway, welcome back, Keepers. This is another episode of Keeping It Real with Jack and Raoul, and I am Gabrielle Dolan.
And I am Jack Phillips. Lovely to see you, Raoul.
Yes, you too. You too. We've got a good one today. You thought of this, and I had never heard of it. So why don't you tell us all about it?
So I didn't think of it. I saw it. I read it somewhere and thought it was fascinating. And it's called the Odyssey Plan. And like you said, you hadn't heard of it. I hadn't heard of it. So it's a 20-minute exercise, and I thought our keepers might like to learn about it. Not only learn about it, but actually do it.
Yes.
And you and I have sort of
We've done it.
And so we might even share with our keepers some of our scenarios. So what is the Odyssey Plan? The Odyssey Plan is a 20-minute exercise from Stanford. And apparently it could change your life. It reveals 3 possible futures and forces you to confront what you really want. So it was developed by Stanford's Design Lab, the same minds behind the best-selling book, Designing Your Life. Now, you and I have we like life by design. We've designed our own lives a little bit, to do things that we love and get a revenue stream from those things and pretty much be the best bosses we've ever had. This is taking it a bit further. So it's very simple, but it's very powerful. You imagine 3 completely different versions of your next 5 years, and it will challenge everything you think you know.
Right. Now, it was originally introduced for 20 to 35-year-olds, I read, but they did say because it's the next 5 years, you could
absolutely.
do it
I think the later in life that you do this, almost the better.
Yeah,
what's next?
You know what
what's next?
Do it every 5 years.
So you map out your life for the first scenario if you stayed on your current path. So if you were to do your same job, the same routine, the same direction, where are you in 5 years and how do you feel? So you go first. Scenario 1, you continue going on like you are now.
Scenario 1 is I keep doing what I'm doing. I'm running storytelling workshops. I'm doing keynote presentations. I might be doing a bit more work overseas. I might be you and I. Sorry, podcast.
Am I there?
Liver. Yes, you're there. You're in my current scenario. Wait till we get to the third scenario. You don't rate a mention,
I'll be
baby.
gone, baby.
No, and we're still doing this. So things just are gradually chugging along, I would say. Still having fun.
Anything different? Maybe more international work?
Maybe more international work and maybe slightly less work because I did sort of have a little plan to gradually start doing less over the next 10 years. Is that
scenario 2 or no, that's actually the next 5 years?
It was gradually, that was my little plan. Yeah.
Nice. So it's staying on this great track and you're not unhappy. You're living a bloody good life, spending a lot of time at Burnaby, doing your golf, managing your time, but still involved doing really fulfilling work that's meaningful.
Yep.
More books?
Oh, yes.
Maybe
5 years, definitely. Probably another book.
Got another book.
Well, there's another book. We haven't talked. There's another book coming up
minute.
very soon.
So you reckon you'll have another book past
another
this
book in
next
5 years?
Book?
Yeah,
possibly.
Yeah, I've always got a book in the side.
Wow.
Anyway, what about you? What's your scenario one?
You. I mean, I love what I do. I love my executive coaching. That's not going to change. What I am doing is rebranding. That's to come, which I haven't told you about that yet. Right. I'm deep in that work. I'm taking on a couple of coaches to help me because I'm seeing lots of opportunities that I can't get to, and it breaks my heart, particularly with younger female leaders that need support. So taking on a couple of coaches to help me there. Definitely doing more corporate workshops, executive team offsites. I love them. Love them. And I'm getting more and more of those. Doing more international work. That's definitely in my 5-year horizon because I don't mind a bit of travel, Raoul. Don't mind being paid to do a bit of travel. And keeping that balance of lots of time in nature and having enough time just to be present with family and friends.
Yeah.
So that's scenario 1.
That's scenario 1.
Okay.
We're chugging along.
Keepers.
We're all
map
happy.
Out your life. If you stayed on your current path, scenario 1, same job, same routine, same direction. Where are you in 5 years? How do you feel? I didn't ask you, how do you feel in 5 years? Scenario 1.
Oh, I probably feel content, I guess.
Okay.
I don't know. How do you feel?
Oh, well, I feel good now. So I'm thinking the next 5 years with scenario 1, I'll feel good.
Yeah,
I'm not expecting not to feel Good.
Good and content.
Good and content. Second scenario. This is where it starts to get cool, Raoul. This is where the rubber hits the road. I want you to design a life that's totally different. What if you took a risk, switched careers, moved to a new place? No wrong answers. I want you just to explore. Where does that version of you end up?
So the switch doesn't have to be those things. It could just be a switch.
Took a risk. To a new place, switch careers.
So I would say that I feel like I am moving to scenario 2 now, because so even though, scenario 1, I said I would still doing work I'm doing, but maybe gradually do less. I think with my, health scare at the start of the year, I've made a decision to actually not gradually start doing that. Sort of
just start.
Just ease up. Just ease up.
We'll get her a couch next time, Keehlan, so she can lay down while we're podcasting.
Do less work, but more of the work I really love to do. I mean, we literally talked about the last week's podcast episode, like not everyone's meant to come with you.
Yep.
So doing work with the clients that I really love doing work with, spending more time at Bermagui. Look, it's not changing industries, because I'm still doing what I'm doing, and I will still definitely run workshops. I will still definitely do keynotes. The drive to work overseas a lot more has gone. So even as of a few months ago, that would have been like my retirement plan, but that drive has just gone.
Changed.
And so
good that you know this.
Yeah, I mean, not that I would still. So I would still do it, but I'm not going to chase it. And that's what's changed to me. I'm not chasing this stuff, knowing enough will come to me, and spending a lot more travel where I want to do, not where the work will take me.
What about switching careers? What if you could switch careers? What would you do?
Well, is that scenario 3?
No, it's scenario 2. What if you took a risk, switch careers, moved to a new place? Now, you're saying you're not interested in those things, so you need to be honest. I get that.
I don't want to switch careers.
You don't want to switch careers. You love what you're doing now. Yeah.
No, what would I know? I don't think I want to switch careers. I'll talk about one potential thing I'll do in scenario 3.
Oh, my goodness.
That could be a switch of career, but I'm not going to do it. I'm going through the process for you.
You might do it.
I might do it.
Don't rule it
out.
No.
And sorry. The other thing with scenario 2 is, and it is about the risk. Maybe it is about taking the risk, or maybe it is about changing industry. I'm very excited about what creating space provides. So what will fill that space? Because I'm a big believer.
I know.
If you create space, something will happen.
Come.
And so I'm excited about that. So because I'm just started,
I'm so pleased you said that, because you are really creative, yeah. And this idea that your creativity might sort of be held back, or you might reduce it, I don't think that's the case.
No.
To your point, by giving yourself more space, you're going to come up with something, or someone's going to tap you on the shoulder, or something will happen. And I wonder if that'll be part of the switching career. And when we say switching career, I'm not saying it has to be totally the opposite. Yeah. It just might be taking something to a different level.
Yep. Yeah. Yes. Yeah. Or adding something, maybe. Because I mean, we both do portfolio careers.
Correct.
So it could be adding something
to the portfolio
that I'm not currently doing now.
Okay. Well, that's really cool. I like that, Raoul. So I thought I'd have a bit of fun with ChatGPT.
Okay, so you went to ChatGPT for scenario 2.
And I put in a really good prompt, and of course ChatGPT knows me well, because I chat to them regularly. And so my scenario 2 is the nomadic sage of transformation. I'm loving this.
What does that mean?
Okay, so the life where you throw the corporate script in the bin and I go weird and wonderful. So at the moment I do a huge amount of work with corporates. I love it,
I was going to say, haven't you already done that?
So, well, no, I'm working with so many corporates and doing so much corporate work.
Right.
I'm now the travelling oracle of leadership. I give up my fixed home and become a modern-day nomadic coach, combining travelling between eco-villages, art residencies and off-grid innovation hubs. That couldn't be more opposite, because I love Lux, I like, and the Hyatt.
So ChatGPT didn't get
it hasn't quite nailed me. You design a new leadership modality that blends somatic work, storytelling and mythic archetypes, becoming the go-to guide for burned-out founders seeking deep reinvention. You live and coach out of unusual spaces. I like this. Tree houses in Bali, desert tents in Morocco. Can't stand tents. Converted boats in Amsterdam. It needs to be the Queen Mary. Anyway, you host micro retreats with unexpected twists. Silent walking quests in Iceland, like that.
Stop, hang on. Hold up.
Silent.
Hold up. ChatGPT
Jack doesn't do silence.
That's what it's called. AI when AI is hallucinating.
Oh,
you
I
doing
love it.
silent walking retreats. Oh my God.
But here's one where I'd invite you.
That's not scenario
if
3.
you shut
that's
up,
scenario
I might invite
50.
you. Firelit storytelling circles in Kenya. You and me and a few leopards. Leadership through art workshops in Japan. My wardrobe is linen and leather. Even goes to my wardrobe. Your office is wherever your journal and coffee mug are, and your presence is magnetic. You're writing a strange and brilliant memoir that's part coaching guide, part mystic journey. And I live everywhere, but my soul place is at Tuscany in Tasmania.
Your soul place is the farm.
My soul place is the
Richard
farm.
coming with you? Are you doing all
He
this?
doesn't get a mention in any of this.
doesn't get- right,
No,
okay.
no, it's the nomadic sage of transformation. It's a bit of fun, keepers, as you go through the Odyssey Plan to throw this into ChatGPT.
Yeah,
and
because-
whilst a lot of it's nonsense,
Yeah.
it does give you a few ideas.
Well,
yeah.
What I like about ChatGPT and AI is it's like brainstorming without judgment.
Correct.
Like,
And it's all a bit
you were saying it to
crazy.
me there and I'm straight away going, no, that wouldn't work. But it's just giving you some ideas.
Absolutely.
But a lot of that stuff,
Some of these ideas are
changing the
awesome.
location or as long as you're in
absolutely.
luxury accommodation, not tents, it would work.
Exactly right. Forget a tent. I don't do
But you
tents.
could be like, was it the go-to oracle of leadership?
Yes, that's exactly right.
that's
I
just
quite like that.
I
The
could
travelling
so-
oracle of leadership. But let's get now to Odyssey Plan 3, and I want to hear this from you because you started to tease me a bit before, yeah? So the third path, yeah, if nothing was stopping you, what life would you create? Okay, so this is your third. In the next 5 years, I said to you, forget about everything you know, unlimited everything. You can do whatever you want. What would you do?
So I thought about this, but the question is if nothing was stopping you. So, all right, I'm just going to go with it. I'm
Please.
judging myself
Yeah, no,
already. I've always thought I would love to be a stand-up comic, but there's a lot of work. There's a lot of work in that, and I just prefer to be
That's funny.
Yes. Or a live TV, like Ellen Degeneres type,
Yeah.
before she became nasty to work with.
Oh,
With,
is that right?
The fun. I don't know, didn't she?
Yeah, she turned a bit nasty.
Like a fun TV live, and so
I
I
could
would.
see you doing that.
I reckon I'd be good at that, but I think
No
it would
buts.
be a lot of work.
Of course, it's a lot of work. Well, no, you have people helping you write it all, find it all.
True.
You've just got to bring your natural persona, your who you are, and your authentic storytelling
Like
self. And
Saturday
you are
Night
funny.
Live with Raoul.
I like it. The real Raoul. I like it.
I was laughing.
Would you get me on as a guest? Or I'm not fancy enough.
You know what you could be. Like Dame Edna Everidge, and she had that
Oh, Nana, the little
she had the old
Madge.
lady. Madge.
Madge.
You could be Madge.
I could be
that
your
would
Madge.
Be funny. See, okay, that's scenario 3. I'm got the live TV show,
And you take the piss out of
you're
me.
Madge on the corner that I just take the piss
she's
out of.
bloody cruel,
bring
isn't
out the
she?
gimp.
Is yeah, hey, the people you take with you or not. So the third
What
part's
do you?
very cool.
Did you use ChatGPT?
I did. Hold on, this is
Hang on, now, what did you
This
think
is
of it
good.
before ChatGPT? Did you?
I found it really hard. Again, I kept thinking about travel, just being there's something about just packing up and experiencing people and places and stuff with unlimited money. That really excites me. And I think it's about curiosity of learning. And you know what I think it is, the more I think about it, it's actually understanding people's stories and probably leadership stories.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah. So and doing that in really interesting places.
Yeah.
So that's the thing that fascinates me. But I did love Odyssey Plan 3 that ChatGPT came up with, and there's something in this. The leadership futurist in residence. The life where you reinvent leadership entirely through creativity and tech. So I'm looking a lot at the future of leadership. I'm doing some studies on it. I'm talking to some interesting people globally who I think are doing leadership differently because they're younger and they've got access to all sorts of things. Designing the future of human work. You create a leadership studio, part think tank, part creative agency, helping CEOs prototype new ways of leading using design thinking, AI, theatre and neuroscience. Absolutely.
Okay.
That is what I want to do.
Yeah.
And I've been talking about that loosely, and this has just brought it together. You run immersive leadership labs called the Leadership Sandbox, experimental pop-ups where leaders live and work differently for 72 hours. How cool's that? You're frowning.
I know.
You collaborate with universities.
Do you have to live with them for
artists,
72 hours?
coders? Oh, no, I'm in my penthouse. And philosophers to design futurist circular on meaning, belonging and ethics in the AI age. You consult to sci-fi film sets. I can't stand sci-fi. I would never watch a sci-fi film. As a leadership realism consultant, helping fictional worlds get leadership right.
Right.
Oh, yeah. You also teach a masterclass on creative leadership futures at an obscure but brilliant graduate institute in northern Italy. Italy keeps coming up.
The Jack Phillips Institute
of
It's sort of like the
leadership.
Pons Institute.
Oh, I like it. Your podcast spin-off.
Oh, sorry, I do rate a mention.
Well, it doesn't say you're with me, but it says my podcast spin-off becomes a mixed media docu-series. Well, see, hang on, Ellen Degeneres, you might be in this. Exploring what leadership will look like in Mars colonies, deep ocean settlements or post-capitalist cities.
Jesus, that's weird.
And where I live, a converted chapel in Scotland and a tech artist loft in Singapore.
Oh, okay.
Leather and linen.
Maybe we could do leather and linen. Well, maybe if we did a podcast and we became like massive and we had our live TV show
docu-series,
and you could wear leather and I would wear linen. I think
I'd spill something in my
ironed linen.
Ironed linen.
You don't iron linen.
You don't iron linen. As a gay friend once said to me, it's a very expensive crush. The Odyssey Plan, okay? The whole point of the Odyssey Plan, it forces you to zoom out, ask bigger questions and imagine other routes. Not to fantasize. I think I might have been doing a bit of fantasizing, but to choose intentionally. The biggest trap in life, Raul? Thinking your current path is the only path.
And I think this is what it does, even like you said, using ChatGPT is a good idea, or throw some weird stuff.
Bit of fun.
But it's getting you to think, well, that's possible. And that you might not even, it's like anything, you might not achieve that big goal or want to, but you might achieve something different along the way. You might achieve some of it.
Well, it makes you think differently, and that's the whole point of it, So the Odyssey Plan shows you how many options you actually have and which ones are worth pursuing. If you want clarity, do the Odyssey Plan. So 3 scenarios, current, next 5 years, if you just keep bumbling along, how does it look? How do you feel? Option 2, take it a bit further, switching careers, being somewhere else. What does it look like? How does it feel? And option 3, just throw everything out the window.
Yeah.
No buts, no constraints. What could you do? Now, if you're like me and you needed to prepare for this podcast and you hadn't done much work like Raul had done, then you fire it into ChatGPT. Think about the prompt you put in because it needs to know who you are to bring up things that I think are a bit relevant.
Yes.
But I'm studying the future of leadership and I'm determined to help people become really relevant, great leaders in the future by studying leadership now and then thinking about what it needs to be. That picked all of that up. And some of those ideas in there are really cool. So I think it can help. It really can. So if you had to think about some tips, and I know you wrote some of these down and I thought they were great, in order to satisfy the Odyssey Plan or to think differently about your future, what do you do?
Yeah. Well, first of all, one of the things you were just talking about then, do you think you could do this like with your partner? Or your family.
Yes, and whether they're with you
no, as in like, well, what do we want to do, the next, what do we want the next 5 years to look like?
That features a lot of my coaching. I make sure that the partner is involved. When we're talking about transformational change, I always say you sit down with your partner, if that's the partner you intend to go on the transformation with, because it's really important you're aligned. And sometimes a partner will have an idea that you hadn't thought of or they want something and that could bring you as well. So, yes, I think this is something you could do with a partner.
Yeah, definitely. So I think it's get curious. Yeah. So one of how you do this. So you've come up with all these ideas, either yourself, you've thought about them yourself, you've talked to your friends or your partner, you've thought about them, you've used ChatGPT as some prompts, but getting really curious then about, well, could this work, and not just dismissing it, I think.
And that's the thing.
Letting it sit with you for a
Don't
while.
put constraints on this. Don't put the buts in there. And that's the hardest thing, right? Because we are so used to, what we can't do. And the older you are, the more experienced you are, the more likely you anticipate what won't work or what will go wrong, when in actual fact, you need to throw that out.
Yeah.
And that's the hardest part.
Yeah, and throw out but that would never happen.
That's right.
And we do that.
I grew up with a father that used to say to me, and we lived in a small little town in New Zealand, and my father certainly wasn't educated. He was a father very young, and he's always done sort of, hard labour job. And he used to say to me, imagine if we just packed up, you, Mum, Pete and I, and moved to a ranch in Canada. Well, I mean, we'd never even travelled out of New Zealand at this point. And I'm 12 going, and I'm horse mad, a ranch in Canada. And it would get my imagination firing.
Yeah.
And then I'd say to him a couple of weeks later, the ranch in Canada, he'd go, what?
What?
Huh? Oh, no, I was probably a bit hungover. But I love that spark of imagination. And it's stayed with me because I keep thinking, what else is there to do?
Yeah. So, the other thing is talk to people that are perhaps doing this. So I know when and I've sort of said that I've just sort of moved from maybe scenario 1 to scenario 2 and did that quite quickly in my plan, is I spoke to some people and I spoke to some people that had done that, as in I spoke to people that had sort of just really downsized their business, travelled a lot more.
And had something inspired that for them, or...
Well, this woman I spoke to, cancer.
Yeah. Okay. So a health scare again.
Health scare again had inspired it.
And that's about longevity, isn't it? So what if I don't have long?
Yeah.
What do I want to do, or what haven't I done that I may not get the opportunity to unless I do it now?
Yeah.
Good.
And maybe that's another tip. Don't wait for a health scare.
No.
I mean, it's so cliche.
Great tip.
And I just live the cliche, but we don't wait for a health scare.
No.
To do this.
So do you think, and this is a personal question, if you hadn't had this recent health scare, of which you've come through and you're doing terrifically, thank goodness, if you hadn't had that, would you have downsized, or would you have pulled?
No. So
Why not?
it was the catalyst. Well, because I might have, I don't know, but to me it was going to be like a gradual change. And then I just thought, why am I gradually doing this?
And is that because, again,
the
health scare and therefore time becomes more limited, right? Okay.
It's just like, it's one of those, I feel like I've got one of those reminders, wake-up calls that people get where they prioritise.
How lucky.
But without ever having the threat of dying from this.
Yeah.
So, it was definitely the catalyst.
Yep. Good. Well, there you are.
Yeah. So talk to people. So if you
get curious, talk to people.
If you want to travel more, and there'd be heaps of people. My book editor, they did it as a couple, as a family.
Yep, they did what?
And they did how do we want our next 5 years to be
look like?
And they packed up, travelling around different places.
Oh, cool.
So they all love surfing, so they'd go to places they could surf. Kelly's a book editor, so she could just work remotely the whole time.
So good.
And so, that's what I'm saying. If that's something you wanted to do, find those people that have done it and talk to them. And you would be, I think most of the time you're going to go, it's possible.
Of course it's possible. Anything is possible. It's your mindset that prevents you.
And then I think it's try stuff.
Experiment,
just
action.
Try it.
I couldn't agree more.
So keepers, remember, if you want to become a best keeper, then flip over to Patreon, where you can subscribe for a monthly fee. You will get early access to podcast episodes. You'll get additional bonus episodes. You'll get leadership masterclasses. You'll get access to our book club, and you will get early access and notice to live events. So come over and subscribe and support us to help us do what we can do for you, plus more.
So I love this idea, and you've raised this before in the podcast, have a gap year or a half year.
Yeah.
And say, come on, family, we're packing up, we're moving to Bali for 6 months. We're going to surf, I'm going to write the book, we're going to do something, we'll rent the place out. I don't know, whatever it is, but we are going to go and do something, or I am going to go to Italy.
Yeah.
Always wanted to do the cooking class because I want to write a cooking book.
Yeah.
Whatever it is, do it.
Yeah. And it's like that, like just savor that. You sort of also mentioned about you have a gap year or a sabbatical, and if that's a step too far, have a holiday. Like, if you do, or you might go, I want to live in France for 6 months of the year. It was like, well, have you been to France?
Yeah. Maybe go for a couple of weeks.
Yeah, don't just go for a holiday, but go and stay for
immerse yourself for a little bit. And I think there is something in that. If you want to become, I don't know, the legend when it comes to leadership, then, is there a place you can go to immerse yourself in that? And so maybe take a holiday and just actually experience or experiment with that and say, well, gee, could this be a longer term thing?
Yeah.
So I think maybe turning a holiday into something that's a little bit more meaningful than just a rest. It will be a rest anyway. Yeah. It will be
go do
replenishing.
Go to Harvard or one of the.
You had to mention Harvard.
Well, go to there's a lot of. Sometimes you go do a 3-month leadership course somewhere.
Yeah, go and live somewhere different. I love it. Absolutely love it. So tips, people: the Odyssey Plan. Suss it out. Have some fun with ChatGPT if you can't figure out your own scenarios yourself, or if you're a bit lazy like me or run out of time. That itself is just fun to do. Get curious. Talk to other people, Raoul. I love that. People that you are impressed or inspired by. I get a few people, I think you do too, saying, your life by design, how I want your life, how you live in the country and you still get to work with corporates or whatever, you balance that. How do you do that? So you talk to those people and then go and try stuff. Experiment. Life is short. Life is rich. Bloody jump at this stuff.
Yeah. And I think with the Odyssey Plan, do it. Definitely do it.
Have a go at it. It's fun.
You might do it and go, you know what? I'm living the best life and that's it. That's good. Yep. But I would recommend you all give it a crack. 15, 20 minutes spend on this.
It's fun.
Should be good. Okay, keepers, hopefully that's been of some value.
The Odyssey Plan.
This episode might have changed people's lives.
I hope it does.
Doing something weird.
I hope they do, and I hope they tell us about it.
Yeah, excellent.
Inspiring.
All right, as usual, share it with your friends and family. If you think of it as a value to others, give us a 5-star rating if you like what you heard, and we will speak to you next week.
Bye.
You've been listening to another episode of Keeping It Real with Jack and Raoul. If you like what you've heard, don't forget to tell others about it and give a 5-star review. They may seem confident, but they really are sensitive 5-star needy souls. Yeah, right. Keeping It Real, created by Jack Phillips and Gabriel Dolan. Produced by Keehlan Ferrari-Brown. And this really real voiceover, spoken by Richard Phillips.